Uthe ubhuta sizomlanda. 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 Ayi sizomlanda. 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 Ayi sizomlanda. Sizomlanda. Uthe ubhuta sizomlanda. Uthe ubhuta sizomlanda. Uthe ubhuta sizomlanda. Uthe ubhuta sizomlanda. Ayi sizomlanda. 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 Ayi sizomlanda. Sizomlanda. Uthe ubhuta sizomlanda.
This is the view of Ngoro crater from the lookout,
Where is that?
way up above the crater floor.
3.5
Pretty amazing.
billion years ago it has exploded.
Here at Gibbs Farm.
Mangangithayo jabula mangayo hlathina namhla beqosha thina bayeza Mangangithayo jabula mangayo hlathina namhla beqosha thina bayeza Mangangithayo jabula mangayo hlathina namhla beqosha thina bayeza Mangangithayo
There's a couple of kids playing.
Oh ja, die dat kleintje, ja. Ja, kijk, zie je dat kleintje erboven daar?
Mangangithayo jabula mangayo hlathina namhla beqosha thina bayeza
And this is a viewpoint. We're going to attend a lecture and learn about this.
Can't take your four shoes in. It can be a help.
Do I need to grow my window up?
No, it's fine.
How close is she? Oh my god.
She's usually taking care of her. She don't mind us. She don't care about us. was good?
She's running.
They run?
She's running.
They are running? They're running away?
Yep. She's running, they're running.
Should we run away from here now?
I think so.
Okay. We're good. We're good people. Yeah, I think he wants us out.
Yeah, whatever guy comes up, show off.
I think the men are kind of lazy lions. Wake up, buddy.
Beautiful animal.
Really.
Hi, girl. I think we've seen you before today.
No.
This is the different.
Oh, it is different?
No way. So she was the first and
to
then
jump because she's so sick of people.
She's a
they can if they wish.
I'll go see my family.
Where he's going. That is one powerful creature right there.
That lion just observing from distance.
It's the same.
Hugging.
It's the same way domestic cats do.
That's coming to receive the
Here we go again.
Oh, you. Where were you?
Where have you been? Been out hunting? You came back with nothing? Don't you know I'm hungry? So arriving in Serengeti camp.
Are we following our luggage?
No.
No.
Being shown to our rooms, or our tents, I guess, by the camp manager. Oh, and we're not alone. Jumbo. This is the view, basically, out of my tent. There's some little something or others. I'm not sure what they are running around. This is called a Nyumba, spelled Nyumba, which I guess means temporary tent facility of some sort. Okay, here we go into my tent. Has a zipper. I've already unzipped it. And this is the bedroom area. Pretty nice. There is lighting. It's all generated by solar power, I believe. And then in here is my sink area. And they give me a bottle of bottled water to brush my teeth. They don't want us drinking the local water. And guess what? I thought on the mountain that was the last time I would see one of those, but nope. There we go. That's what I get again. So here I had a towel hung up, but this is where my shower is. It's actually pretty nice. They give me 25 liters of water. It comes from the outside. There's the shower head. And it's, you know, quick shower, but it works. Anyway, not too shabby. And back out onto the porch area. This is where I've been asked to fill out a survey. There's the survey. So I'm going to sit here and enjoy a Kilimanjaro beer while I'm filling out my questionnaire. Alright, here we are. About to take a balloon ride on the Serengeti.
Yeah, morning, Pete. Got your 5.
Yeah, roger.
Barry, how long have you been doing this?
This is my first flight today.
Nice.
Where is the parachutes?
I only fly once every day, so. Now, I've been flying balloons commercially now for 20 years.
Of course, go ahead. It's not often you see a sunrise like that.
No, that's for sure.
Do that every day.
Came back until you got the good-looking pilot. I just got lucky today.
Okay.
So yeah, I will be able to turn the basket around. So just a little bit of an explanation about what I can and cannot do with this marvelous machine. First thing I can't do is I can't steer. There's no system on the balloon whereby I can change the direction we're going in. We go with the wind. However, the wind changes direction with height. So during the flight we bob up and down to different altitudes to get different air currents, so we can kind of maneuver, but we can't steer. I'm pulling in some ropes here. All that does is orientate the basket. With a system of vents in the side of the balloons, I let a little jet hot air and we spin round till we get different things. But I can't steer. So where we go, nobody knows. It's a true adventure. River alongside, and we're going to end up somewhere down.
Now this is the way to see the Serengeti,
Yeah,
isn't it?
not bumping around in the
Right over top of them.
The very first flight that was ever done by man was in a balloon. And the very first balloon was built by two French brothers called the Montgolfier brothers, who lived just outside Versailles, south of Paris. And in the year 1783, they come up with this crackpot idea of trying to capture smoke in a bag and see if it could float through the air. And they got this because they were paper manufacturers, and you notice when they burned paper in the fire, the embers would float up through the chimney in the smoke, and they thought, well, it was the smoke that gave it the lift. So in September of 1783, they had a controlled experiment. They built quite a sizable balloon, and they had a cage, and inside the cage they had some animals, which they decided to launch into the air, a bit like we launch animals into space before going off into space. And the first three animals were it was a sheep, a rooster, and a duck. The idea being that the sheep could run close to the ground, rooster could fly a little bit higher, and the duck could fly the highest of all, because they didn't know if you could survive at altitude in a balloon. And sure enough, they let this thing loose up into the sky. It flew out over the countryside. It landed, and all 3 animals survived the flight, but they didn't survive the barbecue afterwards. So then, at the behest of the king, on the 21st of November 1783, they built an even larger balloon, with the idea being that man could actually take to the air. And King Louis XVI invited all and sundry to come and see this spectacle. They reckoned it was the largest public gathering in France for an event. It was over 100,000 people came from all over Europe to come and see this amazing sight of man flying in the air. And 2 brave gentlemen, one was called the Marquess de Hollande, who was from the military, and the other one was the king's physician, a chap called Pilatre de Rosier, whose shortened name was Pilot, and that's where we get the modern day word pilot from. They stepped into the basket of what was called the smoke balloon. So inside the basket there was an open fire burning with wood and wool, because they thought it was the smoke to give it the lift. They didn't understand the principle of hot air. So they cut the ropes, off they flew out over the palace, out into the French countryside. But when they came into land, unlike us with the hot air balloon, we can control the descent and gently touch down on the ground. As the embers of the fire burned down, the balloon accelerated towards the ground, impacted the ground, and both the guys fell out of the basket. The balloon then dragged across the countryside, setting the farmers' fields alight. So you can imagine, 1783, you're a farmer living out in the French countryside. This great smoke-breathing dragon descends out of the sky. They ran towards it with knives and pitchforks, and they completely chopped it up and got rid of it. Then the 2 pilots, remember, had fallen out some distance back. They got up from the ground. They were completely covered in soot and dirt. The farmers thought these must be demons. So they ran towards them to kill them. But luckily, inside his satchel bag, the Marquess de Hollande had been gifted a bottle of the King's sealed champagne. Louis XVI was one of the few people who had champagne in his palace. And he pulled the bottle out to show that A, he was mortal, and B, he was French. So they lived to survive. They survived to fly another day. So we maintain the same tradition up until modern times. We always open a bottle of champagne after the flight to celebrate with the landowners. Here the landowners are the lions and the wildebeest. They don't drink, so we're going to have to make a big sacrifice and do all the drinking for them. Okay, guys? Anybody who catches my cork gets a free ride tomorrow. All right? Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, guys. Right, here we go.
So here we are after our balloon ride and a half-hour Land Rover ride over to our Serengeti outdoor breakfast location. Compliments of the Serengeti Balloon Company and our hosts. There's our host Barry. Captain Barry. Say hello, Barry. There's Ona having another champagne. My God.
After 5 days, 6 males get to be very skinny because they don't eat during the mating. They don't eat at all.
I'd like to try their diet. No. She says not yet.
Sometimes you can see them together, but during the breeding time, then you can see males around fighting.
They're gonna come now. Time to hunt.
It's a male.
That's a male, young male, right?
Yeah. Everybody's hungry here.
Have it. Last night here in Africa. Tomorrow we fly back to Arusha, to a day room at the hotel, and then off to the airport and coming home. Hallelujah. See you when I get there.